Hey, I'm Tom.
And I'm Tanner.
Welcome to episode 176 of Bird Squawk. Big
Big
Dom.
Dom. If anything, Big Dom. Yeah, obviously a rough one. Not a whole lot to talk about, man. From top to bottom, complete disaster of a game from pretty much all facets of the game. Offense struggled, defense didn't look good. Yeah, it's really much, it is what it is at this point. I've kind of turned the page. I tried to turn it quickly with one of those games. It's kind of just, yeah, it's a confidence shaker, but there's a lot of things that can be righted this week for sure.
Yeah, one of those games you felt was coming, but you didn't really want to admit it, and it kind of raised its ugly head and showed up at the wrong time. But hey, every now and then you need to get smacked in the face, and we'll see how they bounce back this week. That'll be the true test.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of can admit that they were due for kind of a clunker like that. I don't know if to that extent, but they were due. A lot of culminations of the tough schedule, 3 games in 13 days, the opponents, the type of games you've been playing and the types of games you've been winning. A lot of snap counts for a lot of these guys, and it just didn't go their way on Sunday. You can moan and cry and whatever about different things, but at the end of the day, it just wasn't their day. That's pretty much what it came down to.
Yeah, but I mean, you go back, you look at our tape, go back, when we saw this gauntlet coming, we said we'd be happy at 3-3.
That's that's the thing, and that's something.
We're still sitting what?
Well, we're 3-1 so far.
3-1 in this thing, so it all comes down to let's see how we bounce back Sunday.
That's the big thing, and that's what I kind of said to him. Obviously, 3-3 is where we're at. Obviously, we'd like to do more than 3-3, potentially a 4-2, or potentially 5-1. But we'll see how. Obviously, it starts with this week. But you look at a couple things. This is a type of game that you try and wash clean, try to move on from quickly, and learn and move on. And the thing is, no one's going to forget about that game. That's going to be in the back of your head the rest of the season, with them potentially down the line and how everything went, and like, oh boy, the Niners, whatever, this, that, whatever. But me personally, and I know not everyone's going to be thinking the same thing, if they respond this week and go down to a pretty dang good Dallas team at home, at least. I mean, they've won 14 in a row at home. They are like an offensive juggernaut at home. If you go down to Dallas, and I don't give a crap how you win, but if you go down there and win on Sunday night, I'm forgetting about last week. Not that I'm going to be completely forgetting about last week, but you kind of right the wrongs. I think a lot of people kind of jump off, like get back off the ledge a little bit. I mean, if you lose on Sunday, it's not full panic for me, but buildings are going to be burning. People are going to be like end of the world type scenario, when you got to think, man, like we said, 3-3. We've won games that we weren't even expecting to win. You know what I mean? We're in a better spot than we even thought we were going to be.
Well, the other bright light is, I mean, you look at, we get through these next 2, then we got some soup cans, supposedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. But you look at Dallas still has a lot of those teams we played remaining.
Exactly. That's kind of something they looked at on the radio that I heard, that we're kind of going through our gauntlet right now. This has been the big thing nationally and locally, that this gauntlet. But, I mean, coming up for Dallas, it's us, it's Detroit, it's Miami, it's Buffalo. They got a couple good teams coming through that, I mean, there's a loss in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Niners. Seattle always plays them tough. They play the Ravens in a couple weeks. It's not like it's all over. You know what I mean? Like, I know the 1 seed is the ultimate goal, at least for the regular season. Division 1 seed, that's where we want to be. But we look at this thing, even if we go 3-3 here, and we end up 13-4 or 14-3, I can't complain about much if we end up not getting the 1 seed at 13-4, or you know what I mean, or like 14-3. Right. That's a season well put in, and a season that it's one of those seasons. We looked at that you look around and at the end of the day, you're still up a game on everyone. You're still got everything in front of you. It's mostly just how do you respond.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of feels like Detroit has our schedule from last year.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a lot of hard games on
They've got
there.
the easy remaining schedules, supposedly, but you still got to line up and play every Sunday, so any given Sunday. But, hey, it could very well be that we'll have to end up going through Detroit. Who knows? I mean, there's so much football still left.
Yeah, there's still a lot left.
So, it's not jump off the ship just yet. We expected that somewhere through this we would have a clunker, and the clunker showed up. And that's one thing that in Jalen's history and Nick's history together, they don't seem to put two clunkers together back to back.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things I look at, and I saw something that kind of shocked me. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but defensively, I mean, obviously, they got ripped to shreds. They got torn through, giving up 6 touchdowns in a row after getting those first 2 stops. But if you really look at who the yardage was off of, Bradbury, they were talking crap on him. They didn't even target him. Slay, I think, gave up 3 catches for 37 yards. The bulk of the receiving yards was against Nicholas Moreau. He gave up like 140. Your other, Ellis, the other linebacker. I mean, you obviously got some help coming in with Shaq Leonard. Zach Cunningham should be back this week. Not that those guys are powerhouse linebackers, but you were having, like, we're used to Drek. That was Drek of the Drek. You know what I mean? It's not like they were burning Slay and they were burning Bradbury.
Yeah, but it goes back to what we always talk about when this defense has a rough day. If that front does not get to the quarterback,
and they were, and the thing is, they were at the beginning, and then they went quiet.
But then after that, it was done.
Yes.
And if they can't hunt and get to him and get him off, any quarterback, get him off their set, then we're going to have trouble.
Agreed. I mean, it really does come down, and it's true. We put all that money in the defensive line, which is perfectly fine. That's the way this defense is built, and it's how it's always built. We know we're the town criers for linebackers, but we know nothing's going to be done about it. You know what I mean? I think everyone, if you watch this team, you know it's a need, but it's a need they don't really put a lot of money towards.
They don't put a top priority on linebackers.
Shaq Leonard. Obviously,
hopefully we get the Shaq Leonard that can play.
Obviously, big signing. Even depending on what you get out of the guy. I think I'm trying. I mean, realistically, you got to temper expectations. I know this dude was a stud a couple years ago, but he's definitely lost a step. He's not the same guy that he used to be. But at this time in the year, for a guy like that to be out there was the best case scenario for the Birds. It was a must sign. Something that we always say, but they actually did it this time.
Yeah. He's bringing a veteran presence.
But it's not like you need that.
No, but at that position, we do need it. Coming off 2 back surgeries, so I really want Shaq Leonard from 2018.
Well, But I mean, you would have a heck of a player if you got that guy, but. I think him and Cunningham, I know Cunningham isn't like anything great, but he's played well for you this year, and I think if Shaq Leonard can get a crash course in the next couple of days, he's going to play. He's going to play in some capacity, obviously, on Sunday.
Yeah, and he's coming in with a chip on his shoulder. He's trying to prove to the league and to the Colts, hey, I can still play. So, get a guy like that for the end run here. If he can do it, great.
The only thing that's a little skeptical about him is obviously, it's not like the Colts are terrible. They're in the middle of a playoff push, and they cut a guy like that. Yeah. It's one of those things like, happy he's on board, much needed reinforcements. No matter, it's just, at this point, it's a body.
Yeah.
But there's that's the little, what's there? You know what I mean? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think it's still a positive, and I think it is something to be excited about, but not, I don't get too excited about the guy.
Yeah, we'll have a better opinion after Sunday night. Right? I mean,
it really comes down to the offense. It really does, and I think that's something. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving the defense a pass. I mean, they got throttled on Sunday, but it's not like the offense was giving them a lot to work with. I mean, they made 2 stops on the first drives, looked good. Defense, offense scuffled a couple points, left some points on the board.
Yeah.
And once the Niners got going, they got going. And it was like, it was tough.
I mean, Jalen can't be holding the ball forever either. He's got to make a decision, either unload it, throw it out of bounds, take off running, or do something. I mean, and there's a lot of noise. Goddard's coming back now, and then the tight ends were unproductive. But, hell, we're sitting there Sunday, Jack Stahl was open twice.
On big plays.
Wide open.
I mean, on the first play of the game.
And he was missed.
He was wide open.
So, I mean, it is what it is. But, I just don't know. I mean, he came back after the bye, ran, looked good doing it, and now seems a little hesitant to do it. So, again, if you're going to stand back there with all day, you're going to have to make a decision, either get rid of that ball or run or throw it away or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it just it feels like a couple times the offense was going to finally start getting clicking, and they just haven't.
Yeah, I mean, like you said in the beginning of that game, it was a game where we needed to put touchdowns.
Yeah, against a team
together,
like that,
not
for
field
sure.
goals, right?
Yes.
Because it's 6-0. Next thing you know, it's 7-6. They're winning, and then it's they just take off. We left them get life again, and that was the way it went. So
yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, you can panic, you can freak out, you can say they're the team I thought they were, they're frauds, whatever. I don't know, man. I still sit okay. I still feel good about this team. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like we all knew it was coming. They were eventually going to lose a game on this stretch. They had to. They were going to. It just sucks that it was against that team, just because of standings-wise, NFC lost, and everything going into that game. But like we said, man, sometimes it's good to get that taste in your mouth, man, and feel that, loss, and take it hard, and start focusing again and refocusing on, Brandon Graham and Kelsey, they talked about some little things that they've been letting go because they're winning, right? Now it's time to refocus and take care of that stuff and nip it in the butt. And the coaches as well. I mean, get back in there and refocus for this final run of the season here. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put the label on must win on Sunday, because in all honesty, I get you got to win this game, but it's a tall order coming off a game like that, coming off a tough game already with Dallas. I mean, it's always hard to take both from them in this series. I don't think they have since 2011. I don't think they've won in Dallas since 2017. So I'm not going down there expecting a win, but I wouldn't say it's must win, but it kind of is like last year, that they were so good, but their team's right there, that if you slip up, they're going to catch up. And then it gets a little dicey if you lose this game, without a doubt.
This team, though, feels to me like, and I don't know, I mean, I don't know the stats, but I almost feel like this team plays better on the road.
Yeah.
Like they circle the wagons when they're on the road, and it's us against the world. And when they're at home, I don't know if they have other distractions or whatever's going on, but it seems like they play better on the road. And I'm not, I'm with you. It's a tall order. It's but I feel like I got confidence in these guys, and I think they're going to show up Sunday night, and maybe this is the game we've been waiting on, for them to put everything together, all 3 phases. Who knows? But after a week of refocusing and trying to get this, bad taste out of your mouth, maybe this will work.
Yeah, I mean, my main thing, I'll leave you with this. I get last week sucked. It wasn't fun. But you all know, if they win this week, we're fine. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that, like, if you go down there and win, you kind of put a little bit of the skeptics, a little bit of the stuff in the back of your head away, at least for another week.
But if we don't,
yes,
right,
it's gonna be,
the sky is falling.
The sky is falling, without a doubt. Even if it shouldn't, it is kind of what it is. But hey man, we'll see. I never feel good about Dallas games. I do have faith in them to respond, but I never feel good about Dallas games.
Welcome to the world of being an Eagles fan, you know. We talked last week about just sitting back and taking in what we have been witnessing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just being thankful for what we got. So, you know, it is what it is with these guys, man. Sometimes we're up, sometimes we're down. But,
exactly.
You know, I got faith in them this week that we're going to go down there and show up.
Well, we'll see. And we'll be back, as always, next Wednesday to talk about what all went down in Big D. But thank you guys always for watching. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at birds_squawk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Go Birds.